and we're going to invite people up for Q&A. So if you guys want to line up, the mic is right there. You want to ask a question? Does anyone have any questions from any of these fine folks who, bared their heart and soul out and shared their fuck-ups, right? So yeah, if you just stand in line, make a line, form a queue, state your name, who you are, what you do, and then ask the question, and then let us know if the question is for everybody, or is it for one person, or I'm going to pass the mic down the line, and we're just going to make this thing kind of organic how it works.
Fuck up 1, fuck up 2, fuck up 3. Sounds good. All right, it works. Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Earl and the whole team, and thank you so much for your time and the stories. Despite the fuck ups and all the problems you face, how do you still stick to the vision of that goal? How do you mentally psych yourself in a way that, you know what, it's going to happen despite of these fuck ups? And that's a question for all of you.
Beautiful.
Well, my name is Daler. Nice to meet you, everyone. We do professional events, and we are in tech and digital. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you for the question. All right. Well, John, you got the mic.
Sure. So the question is, how do I keep going? Well, I mean, a big part of it is that I have a family to feed. I think that's a big part. But besides that, there's an unquenchable thirst to be able to make a difference while I'm here on Earth. And there's not really a set amount of money that goes towards that. I couldn't wake up. If I wake up and feel useless, that would be hell for me. So I think that's really one big thing for me. And I'll leave it here and just pass the mic. But the last part is that I came to a realization that every failure was just a mountain for me to climb. And once I understood that principle, that I needed to climb that, on the other side was this freedom that nobody else has ever experienced. I started to enjoy the pain in some respect. It's kind of like going to the gym. So yeah, I think that's two things.
I second that, obviously. It becomes a joyful pain, right? For me, it's always the passion, right? I mean, I'm on a passion journey. It's been a passion journey from day one. It's tough sometimes the day that you wake up and you hate yourself and it's like, why is everything happening like this? Maybe I should throw everything out and go do something else or go back to my previous life. And right away, within 1 minute, it's like, nah. That's not happening. But really how to go through it, more than anything else, I believe very genuinely, is the mindset. And everybody's different. You gotta really go through your own way of healing from that pain in a way, or that circumstance, but there is not much time. So you better get your shit together quickly, and get up and stop crying, Once and I was just telling this to my friend last night that he was so busy at work and family and stuff, so frustrated. I'm like, look, man, just chill. Once you chill and relax for a moment, your mind, it just relaxes. When you're stressed and under pressure, and if you keep pushing it like that, pushing yourself towards the stress, all your decisions that you're gonna make to solve the problem are gonna be out of a stress. You're not gonna solve the problem. You're just gonna make it worse. So you have to first calm down, relax, allow the healing to happen, hours, days, not more than that, obviously, in our life. Time. And then, once you relax, you make the right decisions. You come out of it. This happens all the time.
What was the question? No, can you articulate again?
How do you keep going despite the fuck-ups and the failures and keeping that strong mindset, I would say?
That's a really good question. I agree with all of this. For me, in the beginning, I was motivated by money. Then I was motivated by fear. And then I was motivated by something Steve Jobs said. I want to put a ding in the universe. And I thought about that for a minute, and I went, cool. The vast majority of humanity passes through life and doesn't make a difference, okay? And that sounds like a life not well spent. And the one thing I've discovered is, don't get me wrong, having money is really a lot of fun, okay? And I've gone to the brink of bankruptcy and lost all my wealth twice, okay? And I relate to that. Like I was in a situation where I was fucking broke and my rent was only $185 a month. Okay. But what I did was I got up and I looked at myself in the mirror. It says, I'm not going down today. Okay. And the one thing I've discovered as you get older, and I'm older than most of you in the room, I was the youngest person in the room once. And I was a totally different human. But, if you're defined by your failures, you failed. Okay? And I have this immense curiosity now. And I think today is the best day of my life because the one thing I've learned is every day is special. I have a friend who's terminal cancer. He's weeks away from passing. Best friend, right? My original business partner. I don't have terminal cancer. I have a better day than he does. And so there's somebody out there having a massive better day. No matter how bad your fuck up is, there's somebody out there. Like I was in the hospital and I was in this intensive care and nobody comes out of there. And there was two nurses 24/7 and I'm looking around, the guy beside me he wasn't even there. Guy beside me was telling me about his liver cancer and I don't remember the other guy had. And I'm thinking, fuck, I gotta get out of here, right? And that was a bad day. And when I got out of there and the doctor said, okay, we finally solved your problem, I went, fuck, right? And it doesn't matter the car you have. It doesn't matter how much money you got in the bank. It doesn't matter anything if you don't have your health and an attitude about what's fucking the best. The only thing I don't have any fears anymore. The one I do have is when the day I die, what will piss me off is, fuck, I'm gonna miss tomorrow. And what happens in the world tomorrow? And so I'm only afraid of what I'm gonna miss. And that really comes down to it. And I think I love both your stories. And I've been where you're at, man. Like it is fucking awful, right? And when your kid looks at you, go, and they can't. But I came from a single mom, and I've lived that life of poverty. And I thought it was going to be, but money's not a motivator. It's a tool. And if you're motivated by money, you'll lose. You have to be motivated by something else. And I think that, to your point, I think that for me that sums up. It's probably different for everybody else, but that's it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Cheers, everybody. So why don't we grab another question up on the stage, and while we're waiting for someone to come up up to the mic here, I was actually one of the OG speakers here in Vancouver for Fuckup Nights when it landed in Vancouver. And I started my fuck-up talk with, so one day I lost $20 million, right? And it's like, ooh, right? So there you go. So, before we bring the question up on stage here, one of the lessons that I've learned from these two gentlemen here on stage, thank you much for sharing your stories, was, I'll try to make better mistakes tomorrow. I'll try to make better mistakes tomorrow, right? So, all right, we have a question.
Hello there, everyone. My name is Stella, and I am so honored. I feel very, I don't know, I lose my speech. Anyway, I'm just want to applaud everyone for being so vulnerable. Does that make me really want to?
George is invincible, don't you know?
Because I feel like, I'm Chinese. So Chinese, we always want to have a face to stuck up. Even though when we are failing, we don't want to admit it. But for you guys to come up to be so vulnerable to tell us you're fucked up is something I really treasure. I really think I'm not that bad. Like I can own up to my mistake and I can tell you that I'm failing. I'm a failure. I always say that. But I really applaud George, you saying, what my purpose in life? If I'm not exist in one day that nobody remembers me, then I'm a failure. But so I.
Do you have a question?
Yes,
for the group,
I just want to say.
Person?
I just want to ask. So, I think that you guys are all summed up already. But I want to know, other than the family can make you to motivate, you need to feed. What else can you give me advice every day to push on to what I believe myself, my passion?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank
So, you know, that's a great question. So, when I first started in business, one of the things that was really hard to overcome was the fact that failure is an identity. And if you feel shame, guilt, or like dread going into business or about the decisions that you're making, that's because you see failure as an identity. So, there had to be a shift where failure is actually just an event. It's not an identity, it's an event. And when you start to see failure as an event, and you start to see failure as the event that's the stepping stones to success, then you'll have no problem making bad decisions because you'll make those bad decisions only to learn from them because it was just an event. So, you know, people who are afraid to make decisions, and just for a show of hands, how many of you have been in business under 5 years? Under 5 years. Okay, quite a few here. Okay, good. Here's the thing. Under 5 years, I'm going to tell you something. If you can grab this one thing as a piece of advice very, very quickly, you will be able to scale faster than everybody around you. Nobody cares about your decisions, okay? If your business fails, it's fine. Go do it again. Because failure is not your identity. It's just an event. Go make more business decisions. Try and make more. Try and make as many as you can because that's where your experience is going to come from. So that's what I would say.
Following Jean, I mean, fantastic. Really, really good advice. Guys, fuck up hard, fuck up fast, fuck up cheap. Try not to fuck up the same way twice. Right?
And then get your shit together and get up and do it again.
Right?
Exactly.
There's that saying, right? The Japanese saying, like life, you know, you fall down 7 times, you get back up.
Exactly.
Tell life you
Exactly.
get like a bitch,
Just don't give up.
right? So
Don't give up.
and keep going.
Yeah.
Cam.
Yeah. You know, I remember when I was learning that coding back in time when I was engineer. First time, the first person who taught me coding, he was teaching me coding. He said, if you write a code, the first time it works, there is something wrong with it. There is no way it's gonna work the first time. Like, it's impossible, right? So check it again if it works. That's odd. You gotta fail. There is no way, and it's simple. You just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You know, you gotta get doing it, and then you know what you don't know. You make that mistake, then now you know that you didn't know, and you can fix it. Now you know.
Just really quickly. One of the things, though, is this. Like I was saying, the people that you surround yourself with will help you with those decisions if you have the right people. I think that's one big thing.
Yeah, exactly. Don't give up, but yes, get a mentor, get friends who are in that same, you know, zone of life and even better than you, higher than you, right? That they can guide you through it and support you emotionally. You know, we all need emotional support. It's tough. It's up and down, and it's like a roller coaster every day, right? But then you get to enjoy it after that. It's like, it's fun. And the day that there is no roller coaster, it's weird. It's like, what am I doing today, right? Enjoy the pain in a fun way.
You guys are fucked up. Yeah. Let's go into business and become masochists. Yeah. So the lady who was just up in front, just remember one thing. I've been surrounded by the Asian culture in many ways and very intimately. I'll just leave it at that. I understand face, but forget about it because it actually doesn't even matter, okay? And we all, and I come from a place where I really actually at one point really cared. I don't care anymore, right? And that's why it was just so easy for me. Like, I've had so many fuck ups, but it doesn't care. Because remember, tomorrow you're gonna get up and go about your life and you're not gonna even remember me, okay? And the vast majority of us don't remember the person they met last night, let alone your failure. So if you put it in the context of, the failure is only important to you, right? And it's a reflection of you. And if you take that inside, it's just cancerous, right? Do I care about failure? Yeah, nah. I did, right? And the other thing too is money is a tool. Just go make more. And it's easier now to make money than any time in history, right? Money's not the most important thing in the world, but it's important, okay? And money can give you freedom. And money defines character. Bad people do bad shit with money, and good people do good shit with money, okay? And it's not that money's bad, it's the person that basically controls it, okay? An alcoholic just gets to buy better booze, Okay? Really good booze. I've known some very wealthy alcoholics. They were assholes. Doesn't matter. They would still be buying shitty booze or good booze. It doesn't matter. It's like, what do you do with it? You know? And if you want to give it away to the planet, great. But you can't give from empty pockets. And from a personal position, as in your soul, if you don't have enough of that ability to move forward, you're bankrupt emotionally. And that's where you really have the problem. But fuck ups, and I can tell you now, and it takes time to go through this experience, and you don't get there by yourself, and you don't get it when you're younger because you're very insecure. Males in particular, like me at 21, oh fuck, right? And women have it more together. But as you get older, if you really take a look at how unimportant it all is, then you will soar because you don't care. To your earlier point, you are the sum of the people you hang out with the most. Best quote, and this guy was just a weirdest dude, man. He had some serious ass problems. He was from South Africa, borderline white supremacist, but he said one thing. He said, and I laughed my ass off in a group like this. He said, never take financial advice from a broke person. And that means broke. Broke can be many different things. It could be emotionally broke, business broke, or whatever. Surround yourself with people. And, guys like myself, and I got a partner in the room by the name of Joe Wilmot, who I respect immensely, right? And when he was free and he got bought out by a private equity firm, I've jumped all over it because, to your point, you surround yourself with people who you can work with. And that's the secret of success, because if you try to do it by yourself, you're going to fuck up, right? Today is a world about collaboration. That's all I have to say.
All right. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 people in line, and we'll cut it off after that because we gotta get ready to get out of here eventually. So yeah, 4 people. So who you are, what you do, what's your question, and let's get it going.
Perfect. I'm Julian. I do advertising and marketing. I wanted to thank you guys for today. I wanted to ask you, we're all talking about people, about collaboration, about partners, friends, mentors. How do you identify the right people? Because mostly at the beginning, you fuck up, right? You meet people, they fuck you up in many different ways, but how do you truly identify who are those people that are going to bring you up without losing yourself and without losing this loyalty?
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, some red flags and some principles that I'll share with you. Very, very good. Great question. First, how the relationship begins is how it's going to end, as a principal rule. How the relationship begins is how it's going to end. Give you an example. Somebody wanted to be a client, came in. I sent off the agreement. I started helping them out a little bit, and it took them 3-4 days to sign the agreement. And I was like, nope, not doing this. Not interested. I'm done. Why? Because how the relationship it begins is how it ends. If they're going to renege and be late on being able to do something as simple as sign an agreement, can you imagine what it's going to be like working with them for the next 12 months? It's going to be a headache. Now that works the same with the people that you have around you. So if you start off a relationship and they tell you a little white lie, and you catch that little white lie can cost you $500,000. Right? I think Cam was talking a little bit about somebody who kept delaying things. If I see delays, just like I was saying about the agreement, I stop taking your word seriously. Now you said, John, that's so, can't you have a little bit more mercy? No, because what has happened is when I did have mercy on those type of things, it screwed me over. So the right types of people around you are going to have a level of integrity that you can rely on, and you can bank on, you can go to the bank with. So that's one big piece. There's a few other things, but that would be one of the red flags. I'll let somebody else speak.
Yeah, exact same thing. The red flags are obvious. We ignore them or we drag them along because of obvious reasons, because we're hopeful and, we want to keep them in the loop and, have them there just in case. You never know what happens, right? But don't rely on them. But then on the other side of the spectrum, if you find somebody who is go-getter, on the ball, high integrity, like jump on it. Don't let him leave. Like seriously, grab him. It's tough to find the right people. It's very tough, right? So you're gonna come across people who are absolute flukes, and you're gonna come across people here and there and that are absolutely amazing. You know, hold on to them. Hold on to them, and the flukes, just ignore them as much as you can, right? And sometimes it's not as, you know, black and white, obviously, but it's still when the flags come up, pay attention. Pay attention and do not involve them in your close circle, at least. That's the least, right? I mean, you can deter them if you want, obviously. That's the better choice. But, you know, it's you got to test people. That's another thing I was going to say. Have a way of verification, a system. You know, a system that that works for you, things that matters for you. Put them through a little test and see how they perform. That might be an initial metric for you to be able to, you know, measure that.
That's a great question. First of all, I have some rules. I don't hire family, okay? For a whole bunch of reasons. You can ask me on the side why that makes sense. I have a saying, I look at a person in the eye and I look at, can I play dice with this person over the phone? Okay? So the bottom line of it is, it's all about ethics and loyalty. And the first thing I always do with a potential partner is I take them out for lunch or dinner. I want to see how they act with the staff that serves them. Okay? That is the best due diligence you could do on a human. How do they treat people of service? When somebody serves me a breakfast or a coffee, I always say thank you, and because I appreciate their service to me. And if that person bitches about their food, bitches about the service, that's a huge red flag. I will not hire them, ever. They're gone. And it only costs me a lunch. To your point, it costs very expensive if it goes sideways. The other thing about, you know, the right person is you are going to have fuck-ups, okay? The problem with people that have bad partnerships is they freeze up and their trust level declines, and they don't do it again. And that is the problem is I created the power in my own brain to keep trying to find the right partners. I have amazing partners right now. And I have one, Joe's in the room. We waited 25 years to work together. We have another partner in Europe and around the planet. But it took a long time to sort that out. I've been in lots of toxic business relationships, and I see the difference where it does. But you're going to make mistakes in partnerships. Get over it.
I was going to say, I've known you for 20 years before you even looked my direction.
We wear a suit and a hat, man. You're fucking weird. Just so you know, Duke and I, we make time every Sunday morning to have a physical coffee together at 8 o'clock because I respect the man's intellect, and there's a very, you know, I like hanging out with people that are smarter than me about shit. Because if I'm the smartest one in the room, you know the saying, you're in the wrong room, right?
Fantastic. All right. So there's three questions left. What I want you to do is direct your question to one speaker because we only got so much time left before we gotta start packing out. So ask your question, pick the person you want to ask it to, and whoever's the prettiest person on the stage gets to answer the question. So here we go.
Look at these guys.
So look at his pants. Yes.
Look at these guys' shoes going, fuck, I gotta push up.
All right. So a question and the person you want to address it to.
All right, this is for the shoes and the pants, Mr. Cam. So what piece of advice would you give to someone maybe dealing with a project, when to grit and when to quit?
So never quit, obviously. That's my first idea. Never quit. If you believe, you don't quit. You got to believe. That's my first thing. You got to believe. And if you lose your faith, that means that you didn't really believe in it, so you're going to quit. Nobody with solid belief ever quits. You pivot, you change, you evolve, right? But you don't quit. And the grit is all along. all along, like every morning, every night, every day, every second, every minute. Like it's
How many pivots did you do again?
I've done over 3 so far. We're going through the 4th one now, so slowly. Like pivots are another fun thing in life, right? That it used to be if you say, oh, it's a way to say I fucked up. It's exactly another way to say I fucked up partially and I'm fixing it and I'm making it better. But the grit has to be there. That's tied into passion and belief, in my opinion. And you got to believe and you never quit if you believe. That's it.
Fantastic. All right. One up.
Short question, but deep for everyone, with a short answer. Which part of you had died to your businesses to live?
Oh, interesting. Lightning round. He said quick, but everybody.
Okay.
What died so that your business could live?
The most recent one?
Most fun one.
The desire to be wanted. That was probably the biggest thing. So, and I'll try and keep this super short because of our time, but basically just grew up in a household that, attention was scarce. Grew up with a single mom essentially and a single dad. They weren't together. Not very much attention from both of them, and unfortunately some abuse in the house. So I grew up with the idea of people pleasing, right? And that was a big factor. Once the people pleasing was gone, the revenue multiplier was just ridiculous. Yeah.
A lot of relationships. A lot of relationships died for my business to survive, but those relationships or the way they were not the right ones anyways. That's why, and that's how I can put it. But that's a sacrifice because those relationships were comforting, were making you happy, right? And but you got to take the sacrifice.
Articulate your question again, Yuri.
So his question, just to repeat it again, was what part of you died so your business could thrive?
I'm a cold-blooded killer when it comes to taking over companies, okay? And I've built a reputation in town that when I see a takeover opportunity where I have to kill the C-suite, I do it with extreme prejudice. Capital needs to be defined to go find its best use, and you have to not care. It sounds cold, I get it. I used to be a very compassionate man to try to help somebody. Sometimes you have to put a bullet in it. And what part of me died, and I'm okay with that because I have investors that want a return of their money and on their money. And if you're gonna take that on responsibility, they don't care if their dog died, okay? When you come to that realization, in today's I want to hug you kind of world, I have an unbelievable advantage with that strategy because it is really, and unfortunately, the companies I take over deserve to be taken over. And I crush the shareholders and the debtors to survive, to redeploy capital. That's what an investment banker does best. And it doesn't sound like a lot of people would want my job, and I get it, because I hated guys like me when I was sitting across the table with them. But the part of me that died was my willingness to make everybody happy and take them along the journey, and sometimes you got to put a bullet in them. Okay? And
That's good advice.
And if you want to be a cold-blooded killer, come and talk to me.
All right, last question. Last question.
There's some similarities on that one.
a good one.
I feel you.
All right, final question. So who you are, what you do, and your question, and who's it for? Because we only got a little bit of time left.
Hello everyone, I am Osama. I am a software engineer at Amazon and a future wannabe entrepreneur. My question is to John. Let's say I give you a hypothetical situation. Sure. You moved to a new country and you know no one from your previous network. Right. And you want to start over finding 5 good people to trust and grow with. How would you do that?
Do I have some capital in my bank account, please? Yeah. So, okay. First thing I would do is go find a club. Capital Club Dubai, for example. So if I moved to Dubai, I go Capital Club Dubai. Or if I went to Italy, I'd find a club in Italy where mainly, like, it'd probably be like a $10,000 entrance fee. That's the first thing I would do. And I would go there, I'd go in my suit, I'd spend as much time there learning who's who in the zoo. Yeah, that's as simple as it is. Yeah.
Very cool.
I know it's not my turn, but that's good advice. If you don't have any money, you hang out with networking events like this, because I read a great book, and I would recommend anybody who wants to get wealthy and build an empire. It's called Super Connect. It was written years ago, okay? And this sounds insanely unconnected. But what it basically, the thesis was, is your greatest wealth and future partners of success comes with people that are what's called loose connections, not strong connection. I have the fortunate experience of having a partner that's actually an ambassador and a tier 7 banker with banking credentials. That man could get in fucking any door, okay? But I didn't get to that till later in life. But I started out at networking events like this that built all of that. But I would suggest, particularly if you're new, and there's a guy in the room that I know really well called Yuri. He's awesome. He shows up everywhere. Because the word networking has the word work into it, okay? And most people don't understand that networking will build your future if you're willing to make the investment. And you know what? Coming to events and not getting anything day after day after day, most people give up. But the people that punch through and build connections, particularly in Vancouver, are like Earl and like me and like these guys. We show up. We don't show up with any expectations. We show up to find that. Because I ran into 3 guys here I haven't seen in years tonight, right? And we're going to have follow-up calls. But that's because I have a legacy of relationships. But if you're starting out new, just go to network events. There's so many that are free. You're going to waste a lot of time and drink some bad coffee, right? But I can tell you one thing, and it costs you nothing. You basically get a LinkedIn account, and you follow everybody that you've met for fucking ever. If I had LinkedIn accounts when it first started, and I was younger, I would have crushed it even better than I'm doing right now. That is the biggest database, because there's 1 billion people, and everybody that you've ever wanted to do business with is in that database. And the vast majority of you suck at LinkedIn, okay? Less than 1% actually post, and everybody, particularly women, check out their future dates, okay? And the rest of the guys trying to check it out. But the bottom line of it is that is the best tool that's available for all of you that doesn't cost you anything. Is it a pain in the ass? Yeah. How many followers do you have?
On LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Like 3,000-4,000.
How about you? That's right. And Earl?
10K?
Yeah.
11K?
And these are, you follow these people, right? And anybody you meet tonight, that's where your future is.
I was just gonna add one quick sentence about it. Social media in general. That's, you can just go and have a good LinkedIn and Instagram profile.
I've seen you on
Yeah, I'm always there. Don't believe social media, right? But if your profile, make your profile simple. Start messaging people with a nice introduction. Hey, you're cool. I saw you somewhere, or I see you, and I live here. You live here. You seem to be doing something that I'm interested, or it'd be cool for me. Can I buy you a coffee? Just chat. Everybody's gonna say yes.
But there's one thing I really have to know. Where the fuck did you get a fluffy tie?
Somebody,
I agree.
actually,
Everyone's
somebody
like, that damn tie is
it's
awesome.
custom made. One of my artist friends made it for me. I have a lot of artist friends.
All right. So based on that networking thing, guys, there's QR codes posted on the posts in the back. There's a WhatsApp group that's built for just the people who are in this room today only, right? So the purpose of that is to network. That's the whole point, right? So you guys are here with a bunch of other people who own businesses. There's these guys on stage. Come talk to them. Well, guys, give them one last round of applause. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's give Earl a round of applause. Let's go!
All right, everybody. So we're just gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys for coming out. Yeah, you guys can skedaddle. We're good. I'm just gonna go find the last slides. Thank you, gentlemen. So
What's coming up next?
we got another thank you to the sponsors. So guys, a round of applause for the sponsors. Thank you so much for sponsoring this event. Our next one's coming up around the corner. If you want to know when our next event is, we have a newsletter. Scan the QR code. There's also QR codes all over every post in the room. Scan the QR code. Get on the newsletter. It's free. Okay? Who here likes going to business networking events like this? Yeah. Who wants to see all of them in the city? Yeah. Come join the newsletter. It's free. It doesn't cost nothing. The reason why I made this was because people were too damn lazy to do it themselves. Right? Like my friends go, hey, Earl, when's the next networking? Screw you guys. Right? Go look on freaking Facebook and Meetup and Eventbrite your damn self. So this is what we do. We actually scraped it all for you guys. I have a virtual assistant. Her only job is to do this. Okay? So there we go. And then, what do we got? That's it. We're at the close here. I think that's the last slide. It is the last slide. All right. Thank you everybody for coming. So here's my ask, guys. There are sticky notes on the thing at the back. If you want and if you dare, put your biggest fuck up on the sticky note. Right? You can be anonymous. And what we're going to do is we're going to read them on social media. Right? So we're not going to name and shame you because we have no idea who the hell you are. Just put your biggest fuck up on the sticky note. We're going to read them. Okay? There's a wall over there, the fuck up wall with the rain of poop. So yeah, absolutely, guys. Take your selfies there. Take some pictures out there. And yeah, guys, network, enjoy. We're closing up shop. I think we have to be out of here by 9, right? I don't know where Dave is. So yeah, network, guys. And so I want to leave you guys with this one little piece, okay? So I used to do a lot of speaking, and I used to do a lot of traveling, okay? And this is what I want to leave you guys with, okay? I asked, and this is kind of the appropriate place to say it, just because it's a bit of a dirty joke. I asked people, and I correlated happiness with the amount of times people had sex. And they're like, oh, interesting. Now, don't put your hands up. This is part of the act. So I did this live someplace else, not today. Okay. So what we did was I said, put your hand up if you have sex at least once a week, and people put their hands up. And I go, hey, those people who put their hands up, don't they look happier than everybody else? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So then I asked the question, how many have it twice a week? Okay, and some people put their hands down. There's a little bit of uncomfortable shuffling, a little bit of giggling, and that was cool too. And the people who put their hand up for twice a week, they were really, really damn happy. Now here's the problem: there was this one dude at the back. He was a Jamaican guy. I remember this. Like this actually happened. So he's at the back, and he looks like the happiest guy in the room. But he didn't put his hand up for once. He didn't put his hand up for twice. So I'm like, dude, it's not once. It's not twice. What the hell are you so happy? And he looked at me. And he answered the question, how many times? How many times, sir? He looks at me in the eye and says, once a year, man. I'm like, once a year? And you're the happiest guy in the room. Why the hell are you the happiest guy in the room? He looks at me straight in the eye again and says, because, man, tonight's the night. So everybody, network like tonight's the night. Everybody get up, mingle, clap, and yeah, we're good. Everybody, Fuckup Nights out. Thank you, everybody.